Welcome, ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Friday, the 14th of April. Good to have you aboard. We are a Blue Wire podcast presented, as always, by Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. 800-747-FREE. If you're ever in an accident, if you're dealing with an injury, let Anidjar and Levine take care of you. You take care of your health. Let them get you the money that you deserve. They know what they're doing. 800-747-3733. All of ZASLOW Show 2.0 is always presented by our title sponsor, Anidjar and Levine. Again, Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE. That's 800-747-3733. Glad to have you here with us today. Make sure you like, you rate, you comment, you do all that good stuff. We have a big Friday show today. We got a lot on the line tonight. Win or go home. This is a do-or-die situation. Your Miami Heat, Chicago Bulls tonight, Kaseya Center. Almost forgot the name. We're changing the name every couple weeks there in downtown Miami. So tonight, 7 o'clock, Heat and Bulls. You're locked into your TV. You're dialed in. You're ready to go. I hope everyone is being safe. The flooding, it's nuts. I had to go this morning. I had to go pick up my wife. We do not have a bachelor pad anymore here at the ZASLOW Mansion. I had to go and pick up my wife and my older son, Corey, at the Port Everglades. And, you know, we're driving past the airport, Fort Lauderdale Airport, which is still closed right now. It's been closed since Wednesday. And parts of that Fort Lauderdale Airport, it looks like a lake. I mean, you can go swimming. So I hope everyone's being safe. This is a good opportunity for me to tell you guys about water cleanup of Florida. I mean, if you're dealing with flooding, you can wind up getting yourself some mold. You could have water damage. Call or text Water Cleanup of Florida when disaster strikes in your home, like what we've seen the last few days. You need specialized, fast, and reliable services. Water Cleanup of Florida. They know how unexpected property damage, it'll screw everything you got going on, okay? Don't stress. Allow over 60 plus years of combined experience. Handle your restoration project from start to finish. That's right. The team at Water Cleanup of Florida, they are prepared to handle all kinds of disasters, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, fully licensed, insured, and general contractor that provides that one-stop shopping that makes things easy for us busy home and business owners. Call or text 954-900-8635 or visit Water Cleanup of Florida's website, WCUFL.com. Again, you can find them on social, Facebook, Instagram, Water Cleanup of Florida, 954-900-8635. Water Cleanup of Florida, we clean up your schmutz. So, last night, we'll lead here with the Panthers, then we'll get to the Heat. We got big game or not a big game. BetMGM's Trista Crick is going to join us. She's got the Heat Check with Trista Crick, NBA podcast. It's one of my favorite new podcasts now. You also hear on Odyssey Sports, 7 to 11 p.m. on the BetMGM network every night. I was actually on their show last night. I was on with Trista last night, did some NBA, did a lot of Heat basketball talk. I retweeted out the link there to the podcast. You can go. There's video also, although I don't know if you could access the video if you're not watching live. But you can go and you can go back and check out the podcast. So I was on with Trista there, and that was fun. And so we do a little home and home. I was on Trista's show last night. She'll come here on my show on ZASLOW Show 2.0 today. And she's one of our new favorites. All right. So we'll get Trista Crick on the show coming up in a little bit. We'll do NBA with her. But we got big game or not a big game. It's a Friday. You know how we roll on Fridays. We got big movie or not a big movie. All right, so you guys know the drill. And I'm going to give you my NBA picks, all right? So we'll do series predictions as the NBA play-in ends tonight and the playoffs get going tomorrow. But the Florida Panthers, so last night, me and my boy, Jordan, he's my hockey buddy. He loves hockey now. He's really into the game. Loves the Panthers, just like your boy. And so, so we went to the game last night. We went to FLA Live Arena. No flooding around the arena. That was a relief, all right? So everything was good. Great crowd. Not sold out, but close to capacity. By the way, peek at my Johnny Cuba hat. That means it's Friday. Everybody loves when you see the video clips or youtube.com/@ZASLOW Show. But like when you see the video clips on social media, and you see I'm wearing my Johnny Cuba camo hat, everybody's automatically in a great mood because you know that means it's Friday. So Johnny Cuba, you know that's the official beer of ZASLOW Show 2.0. Anyway, we're at the Panther game last night. I did not regret spending the money. We were just about center ice. We're really on the blue line on the shoot twice goal. We're on the blue line, second row club, great seats. I do not regret spending the money, even though the Panthers didn't need that game to clinch the playoffs. They needed the game to get the number 7 overall seed, the top wild card spot, and avoid Boston. We had Ed Jovanovski, all-time Panther, great former Panther captain, on the show yesterday, and he spoke about how Boston's a different animal. You know, you want to win that game yesterday, which you would have played New Jersey, because New Jersey came all the way back from a 4-1 deficit at the Capitals. They won 5-4 in overtime. So if the Panthers did win last night, they would have faced the Devils in the first round, which would have been the perfect scenario. Instead, they're going to face the Boston Bruins. On Monday, it's Patriot Day. You got the Marathon on Monday in Boston. The Panthers are going to be in Boston against the Bruins. By the way, how about how this would have lined up? If the Heat would have taken care of business, if the Heat would have put out an effort on Tuesday night against Atlanta, you would have the Heat at the Celtics first round of the playoffs, Panthers at Bruins first round of the playoffs. This would have been going on, at the same time. Saturday, you would have been in Boston for the Heat. Monday in Boston, Panthers. Then likely to have been Tuesday, Heat at Boston. Wednesday, Panthers at Boston. What? Can you imagine if you were planning on some type of, there's no point even talking about it because it didn't happen. But that'd have been some type of trip if you're a fan of both teams. You go up there Saturday through Wednesday, go to a couple Panther games, go to a couple Heat games. Best week of your life. Heat lead that series 2-0. Panthers lead series 2-0. Anyway, it didn't happen. So we're not doing that. But the Panthers, they lose last night 6-4 to Carolina. Me and my boy went. We still had a great time. Through the first two periods, Panthers are down 2-0 after the second period. And they just weren't very sharp. I didn't find the Panthers were very sharp. Maybe, the passing, they're not connecting. They're not getting the bounces. Alex Lyon was good. He was really good. And you say, oh, ZASLOW, how can he be really good if he gave up 6 goals? Well, 2 of them were empty net, all right? But Alex Lyon was really good. He got the start because the game meant something. If the game didn't mean anything, that's easy. You put Bobrovsky in net. You let him shake some of the rust off. Now, we'll get to that scenario in a second here. But it's 2-0 after 2 periods. Panthers just didn't look very sharp. And I know, Jovo said yesterday, I think you're going to see a team that's playing a bit looser. I don't know. Maybe they need that monkey on their back where it's, we're up against it. We put ourselves in a bad position. We got to play desperate. Maybe there was a little bit of that. Well, you're going to get back to that now. Playing Boston, you got the past 2 President's Trophy winners. And I liked what they said last night. I heard from Paul Maurice after the game, the Murderer of Fun. Heard from Matthew Tkachuk. He finished the season with 42 goals, 41, 42 goals. I think 41 goals. And, oh no, actually it was Verhaeghe who scored at the end. So Verhaeghe, 42 goals. Tkachuk did not score last night. But I like their attitude where we got an opportunity to do something special here. And that's not just, it's not, generic sports speak where, we win the Stanley Cup. We got an opportunity to do something special. No, you're playing the Bruins, the team that won the President's Trophy and also set the all-time record for wins with 63. If you beat them, it's going to be an all-time memorable moment. Everyone remembers a few years ago when the Tampa Bay Lightning set the record for points and the Columbus Blue Jackets, led by Sergei Bobrovsky in net, swept that ass out of the first round. Everyone remembers that. So the Panthers do have an opportunity to do something special here. So you got to move past the whole, they could have avoided Boston. They blew it last night by losing to Carolina. That's done with. Panthers made the postseason. That was the goal. Now that you're in, Stanley Cup playoffs are different from the NBA. The lower seed team wins all the time. You just got to get in. And the fact of the matter is, Panthers are 2-2 against the Bruins this year. 1 regulation win, 1 overtime win, which I think was back in January. So, they've beaten them a couple times. They know they could beat them. Last night, the first 4 minutes of the third period was so exciting. Barkov scored, made it 2-1. Then Lomberg on a giveaway, an amazing effort from Radko Gudas. Lomberg buries the shot from the slot, and the Panthers tie the game at 2 just 4 minutes in. Then you had a breakaway. It was Kachuk. Looked like he was tripped up. I haven't seen a replay. They didn't call it. And then the Hurricanes capitalized. They scored. And then like 2 minutes later, they scored again. And all of a sudden, it's 4-2. They got the empty net, made it 5-2. And the Panthers then scored 2 more goals right quick. People who are leaving, and this with a minute and a half left, people are leaving. They'll run back to their seats. Now it's 5-4. But then they got another empty net goal. So 2 empty net goals there for Carolina. They win 6-4. Panthers have the Bruins. So it is what it is. Hurricanes are better than the Panthers. And they've been a bugaboo for the Panthers for the last 15 years. So you got Boston. Now the big question is it Bobrovsky or is it Lyon in game 1? Lyon was really good again last night. He was. ZASLOW. How could he give up 6 goals to be really good? Again, he gave up 4. 2 of them were empty net. And yeah, you give up 4 goals. And he kept the team in the game when it was 2-0. He gave them a chance. He was very good again last night. I think Alex Lyon is the starter game 1. I do. I think if Lyon gets beat up those first couple games, you can always go to Bobrovsky. But if Lyon gets beat up there, it's, okay, you know what? Now we got the veteran goaltender. Let's give him a shot here. Let's see if we can get a jolt. We know what Bobrovsky is capable of. I mean, he hasn't been great with the Panthers. Everybody knows that. But you know what he's capable of. If Lyon does not do well, you go to Bobrovsky. If you start Bobrovsky game 1, and he's bad, he's rusty, they lose those first couple games, like, you're going to regret it because you didn't go with Lyon, who's been really, really great these last 8 games. Like, you're going to sit with that decision the entire summer when you wind up losing because you started Bobrovsky and he got shelled the first couple games. The other way around, if Lyon does not perform well, then you go to Bobrovsky, figure, okay, let's see if $70 million goaltender can save us here. Lyon, I think, has earned. They do not get to the playoffs without what Alex Lyon did for them the last 8 games. Really the previous 7 games because they got 13 out of 14 points in those 7 games. Alex Lyon deserves to get the net in game 1. I would say the guys in the dressing room probably believe that Alex Lyon deserves the net in game 1. I think it could be a little deflating if the guy who got you there is not in between the pipes in Boston on Monday. So I think you're going to get Alex Lyon. I'm not sure when we'll find out. Maybe Paul Maurice will address it today. Maybe he'll address it tomorrow. I don't know. But I think we're going to wind up getting Alex Lyon in net on Monday, game number 1. I think I think that's obviously the right call. So anyway, not a whole lot more to add from the game last night. Crowd was super into it in the third period when the Panthers tied it. It looked like we were going to have a fun rest of the way, but then the Hurricanes, they answered, and there it is. So overall, the Panthers, they did it. They got back into the postseason, and this is something that I talked about with Jovo yesterday, where 4 years in a row now, if you want to count the stupid, COVID bubble playoff, which the Panthers only got in because they extended it. But nonetheless, 4th straight year the Panthers are in the playoffs. First time in franchise history. And believe it or not, this is the best stretch of Panther hockey in the history of this franchise. And this is how you grow that fan base. When year in and year out, you know you have a playoff caliber hockey team. And so now it's why all year long you've gotten great crowds at FLA Live Arena. This now is how you do it. This is how you sustain a fan base. This is how you pack that building every night, year after year, when you got some consistency and the fan base can believe that the organization is going to put out a good product. They're finally there, it looks like, 4 straight years in the postseason. So I'm really happy. You know I love that team. It's been a difficult season. It's been a crazy finish. That stuff's all over with. Got a chance to do something really special here and take that Boston Bruin ass. So I'm pumped. So that's where we are as far as the Panthers go. Now, the Heat tonight. Okay. This game better have a different feel to it than Tuesday did. I love the play-in. I think the play-in's a big hit. This is the first year that I'm invested in the play-in because it's the first time the Heat have ever been in it. If the Heat lose tonight, I think this goes down as the most embarrassing week in the history of the franchise. No team has ever lost, no number 7 seed has ever lost the first game in the play-in, let alone then not made the playoffs. The Heat would be the first team ever to do that, lose both games at home, while going 0-4 against Chicago this year, 0-3 of those 4 games at home against Chicago. And then when you consider just how difficult and essentially unenjoyable this entire season has been, this would be an embarrassment. And every team so far in this play-in, be it Oklahoma City and New Orleans, be it Minnesota and the Lakers, be it, what was the other Eastern Conference game? Chicago and Toronto. Every one of those games was played at a pace and a style and with a mentality, it seemed, where both teams were going at it. And you didn't get that from the Heat on Tuesday night. They were playing it like it was game number 83 instead of a play-in game. Tonight better have a different feel to it. Because Chicago, after winning in Toronto and being 3-0 against the Heat, they think they're coming down here to end the Heat season. And for that to happen on the Heat's home floor, it will be an embarrassment. An embarrassment. And again, just like that Atlanta team sucks, this Bulls team's not any good. Now, I think the question, which will be answered, is what kind of changes are we going to see tonight? I spoke about this yesterday. I would put Caleb Martin back in the starting lineup. And you think about this. This is where the Heat's MO, and yes, of course they've missed PJ Tucker, but this is where the Heat's MO in the offseason has to be to get a big guy playing next to Bam Adebayo. The Heat are going to go into the playoffs with Max Strus as Bam Adebayo's front court mate, as Bam Adebayo's power forward. It's terrible. It's so, Max Strus not big enough. With that said, I think you go with Caleb Martin tonight. I think you need the defense because you got the perimeter scoring there with Levine and DeRozan. I think Martin's back in the starting lineup tonight. I also would take Strus out of the rotation. I would go with Oladipo tonight. I think you want the defense, and at least Oladipo can create his own shot where Strus cannot. And Oladipo, hell, what do you have? The 7 threes a few games ago. Last game of the regular season, he was very good also. I would give the minutes off the bench to Oladipo. And for a team like Chicago does not want to give up the paint. So Bam's going to have a lot of opportunities to set up his teammates. I think if the three-point shooting is struggling a little bit, you go with Duncan Robinson tonight. I think Strus is out of the rotation tonight. I start Martin. I give Oladipo the minutes off the bench. And I make sure Duncan Robinson is ready tonight. Then you're asking yourself, all right, is Spo going to put Kyle Lowry back in the starting lineup? I wouldn't mess with that. Lowry's been good off the bench. He had the 33 off the bench the other day. It's not like coming off the bench, he didn't give the production. I would not mess with that. I give Vince, if Vincent doesn't give you anything at the start of the game, you go to Lowry a little bit earlier. I would not put Lowry back in the starting lineup. I put Martin back in the starting lineup. I give Oladipo the minutes off the bench. I say, Duncan, stay ready. This is a team that allows three-point shooting. They give up a ton of three-point attempts. I think this is a game you have to strongly consider Duncan Robinson. Come on now. Let's go. Let's do it. All right, I'm going to give my NBA predictions coming up. I'm going to give my series predictions except for the 1 seeds, all right? But first, before we get to Trista, hopefully I'll be sleeping all right tonight. If the Heat get eliminated, I'm going to have a hard time sleeping. It's a good thing I have my new sheets and giggles. That's right. The ZASLOW family is 4 of over 100,000 Americans who are sleeping on sheets and giggles. Naturally softer, cooler, more breathable, sustainably made bedding via lyocell process from the wood of eucalyptus trees grown on sustainably managed biodiverse farms. So now you're comfortable, but you don't have to think, oh man, are they ruining the earth? No, sheets and giggles, they take care of the earth. No pesticides, no insecticides, up to 30% less energy used than cotton sheets. The sheets The comforter, oh my God, I love this comforter so much. I would fall asleep right now if I laid down in that comforter. I got a eucalyptus pillow. You ever sleep on a eucalyptus pillow? Use my code ZASLOW at checkout. You're gonna get 20% off your first order at Sheets and Giggles. Shout out to my man Colin, founder and CEO of Sheets and Giggles, sheetsgiggles.com.